Hi guys, today's November 9th. I want to thank you all for your prayers. I'm still sick. I'm not running a fever though. And I am going to tell you, yeah, my doctor did call and I I I did test positive. Um, but I'm going to mention something about that. Um, this virus has been out for a very, very, very long time. It's just another strand of the flu. I never thought that I could get it or whatever. And I think that these swabs or whatever, they are just for their numbers. The more positives, the more money they get. I go to a Christian clinic, and I mean it's a great clinic and everything. But I don't agree with this testing whatsoever. Because now they have me labeled and in the system. And people everywhere where I live already know, and everyone around here, like a bunch of people, have it now. My niece, she is 5 years old, has an ear infection. Took her into the doctor. They tested her for the virus, and it came back positive. Showed absolutely zero symptoms. This is why I know it's rigged. This is why I know that no matter what, if you got a common cold, it's going to come up positive. If you got um, bronchitis, like I got, or whatever, it's going to come up positive. It's just a different strand. And throughout all these years, we've been getting sick. Everybody gets sick. We just don't find a vaccination for every tiny little thing. It's just part of the New World Order system. So that's one thing that I wanted to say. Now, I got a massive load of information here. I have a Bible study I want to present, but I'm just not ready 100% yet. So I know that we are headed for another lockdown. The school system around us is closed due to positive cases. The preschool, not the preschool, the Head Start is also closed. In Illinois, their school's closed. It's just a matter, and I believe that this is the second wave that's hitting. I believe that it's going to be far worse, and this is going to send us into a nationwide lockdown, and that because the numbers keep climbing. I mean, obviously, yes, it's a real virus, but it's not any worse than the flu or whatever. Um, so obviously, I'm living proof. I'm here. Yeah, I'm having a little difficulty time breathing, but I can't breathe out of my nose. So, all right, where do I begin? I don't even know. There's so much information. They've been pushing this vaccination really hard here lately, okay? And it's not very good, obviously. It's not a smart idea, because we know that this is the mark of the beast that's going to be implemented from this. All right. All this just came out like today and yesterday. So I'm just going to read to you one by one. Stocks, oil prices rocket on coronavirus vaccine hope. Okay. European stock markets and oil prices rocketed Monday on coronavirus vaccine hopes following successful trials, while Dow Jones Futures was up 5.4% ahead of the Wall Street Open. Already up strongly on Joe Biden's U.S. election win, markets massively accelerated gains after Pfizer and BioNTech said their vaccine was 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 infections. London's benchmark FTSE 100 surged 5.5% in the midday deals. In the Eurozone, Frankfurt jumped 6.0%, Paris soared 7.1%, Milan increased 6.2%, and Madrid 9.4%. stock market surged on some extremely positive news from Pfizer and BioNTech, and said Neil Wilson. The Dow is now seen up 1,300 points at the official open, coming on top of the wave of relief from Joe Biden's victory. It's proving a spicy cocktail for stocks. New York crude advanced 8.5%, and Brent North Sea oil was up 7.8%. The dollar was steady versus the euro and pound, and up more than 1% against the yen. Because it is doing so well, it is going to crash. This is just a ploy to make everybody think that this is what it is. What they did is they voted for Barabbas. They wanted Barabbas instead of Jesus, okay? They say good is evil and evil is good. That's what they're voting for. These abortions, the late term abortions, the gay marriages, the pedophilia, you know, and that's what's going to happen. And this is the same time as the time of Noah, okay, where they were eating, drinking, marrying, and given into marriage, okay, until the floods came and swept them all away. Exactly the same scenario with Joe being in, okay. And you know, I'm going to say I thought it was pretty funny. How does Joe even know he won if he has dementia? He probably forgot. No, I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I thought it was funny. And then Black Lives Matter, the BLM. No, Biden loves minors. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. He does. He loves to sniff. And that's great because I actually can't smell and I can't taste. So, but he sure can. And he is definitely smelling all the deception that the American people are getting into, and he's like, I got them where I want them, now I'm gonna eat them, you know, because that's he's a sicko, okay, because he's part of the Satanist colony. He's a Democrat, okay. So now I'm going to read you this article, and it says Biden to bring Noah-like flood into world, rabbi warns, okay. For this is to me like the waters of Noah. As I swore to the waters of Noah, nevermore would flood the earth. So I swear that I will not be angry with you or rebuke you. Isaiah 54:9. A major rabbi noted the implicit connection between the U.S. elections and the flood of Noah, the connection emphasized by the coincidental and dramatic beginning of the rainy season in Israel. According to the rabbi, the U.S. stands at crossroads with one possible path leading to an essential Esau role in the final redemption, while the other path leads to a far darker reality. Okay. Now, I know many people have been getting these dates, and I don't know, but it says the elections were held on the 17th of Cheshvan. Now listen, all right. He noted that according to Jewish tradition, rains that caused the flood in the time of Noah began falling on the 17th of Cheshvan. Okay, and they rained, and it rained, and it rained. Okay, if they rained, and they were in the ark, sealed for 7 days prior, you know, before the rains came. Well, then the floods took them all away. And what did it do? It rained, it resided for 150 days, or no, 40 days and 40 nights it rained, which would lead us about the same timing. Actually, that'd be in February. No? Give or take. But it was also, okay, on that day here in Israel that the first rain of the season fell. And they should have been rains of blessings, but since Biden was elected, these rains became like the rain on the same day in the time of Noah, a harbinger of the coming flood. You guys understand this is bringing in judgment. The rabbi explained that the gematria, numbered numerology of the word for rain, is 343. The gematria of this is Trump. Okay, now we know Trump, and Mike Pence, Trump Pence, and at the last Trump, okay? So he is still fitting within the situation, okay? And then it says, Democrats, sins of the flood generation. The Democrats are spreading the very same sins that forced Noah into the ark. We can see this because the symbol of these people is the rainbow. This was the sign that put it in heaven to show that the world will never be destroyed by a flood again. In Jewish tradition, the rainbow represents the male organ and the sins that were done with it that led to the flood. They are flaunting their sin in God's face, knowing that He will not bring another flood. This is etemized by the Democrats, beginning with Obama, who allowed men to marry men and allowed abortions, the murder of infants. The question we should be asking is not who won, but rather what will be with America. Does God want America to continue? Through divine intervention, Trump was able to appoint 3 judges. Appointing judges is one of the Noahide laws and incubate, upon all mankind. But just as important was that the judges appointed by Trump support the Bible. Biden intends to pervert the courts in contravention of the Noahide requirements to have just courts. Now, I'm going to stop here before I go on any other article. The Bible study that I've been working on, it's not 100% done, but these scriptures are just amazing in how it ties into what I just read. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to read to you the meaning in the Strongs. Okay, so we have Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words. Okay, speak a great commandment against or concerning the Most High, and shall wear out, which is afflict the saints of the Most High, and hope or bear in mind to alter the season and the decree. And they shall be given into his power until a time and half, in the dividing of time. Okay, the Antichrist. Okay, about this, how he is going to tend to change the times and the laws. No, I'm not saying Joe is the Antichrist, okay? But I know that he has Kamala Harris, his right hand, and that many have been believing that she is going to step in. But this I get from Daniel 11:20, is that he is the one. There shall arise in his place, okay, which is, this is what, we've already seen that about Trump, about what has happened, how he left, he turned his face and then came back, and then miraculously he had the virus, and then bam, he was healed, and within a few days. Now, I believe that was the deadly head wound, and the reason why is because I'm going to read to you what this means, and then I'm going to read to you, like it says, there shall arise in his place one who imposes taxes on the glorious kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, but not in anger or in battle. Okay, and in his place, okay, shall arise a vile person. So that means Trump got replaced with a temporary person, who therefore that temporary person gets removed again for the 42 months to begin of that vile person. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, whom they will not give the honor of royalty, but he shall come in peaceably and seize the kingdom by intrigue. Okay. And then that's when it's talking about how the next one is about how the people of the covenant, the prince of the covenant will be cut, destroyed. Okay, and anyways, it says Revelation 13:2 and 3. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon, okay, and the dragon means Satan, gave him, which is gave man or gave himself, his strength, his power, his might, and his throne, and great jurisdiction, great freedom, great influence. And I saw one of his heads, one of his division, one of his masters, one of his companies, one of his mind, as if it were wounded or slaughtered almost to death, a plague. And his deadly wound, or his plague, or what wound was healed, which was cured of a disease. And worship and all, which is the whole world, wandered. They marveled after the dangerous animal. which is the beast. So I believe that the next thing that we are at right here, and then my next video I'll continue reading other stuff because I don't want this getting too long. I'm already not feeling too good. All right. 6. All right, so now right here, this is where I believe that we are at in Bible prophecy. And another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was and when he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hands. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures say, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." Okay, that is the third seal, which is the financial collapse, is what we're going to be seeing. And at the financial collapse, the 4th is when Satan comes. Okay, and it says, "So I looked, and behold, and a pale horse, and his name who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed him." Okay, and power was given to them over the 4th of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth, which is Satan cast, he gets cast out of heaven, and when he's going to be right there, he cast from heaven, the Revelation 12 sign, and, the fallen angels, and they are going to be able to go out and torment and do all that stuff. This is what I believe through what scripture is saying. I know a lot of people don't believe that any of the seals have been opened, and things like that, but with the way that how fast things are going, and that the vaccinations are definitely coming, and they've already been out. They're not forced as of yet, but I can read this. See, because Joe Biden, what he wants right here, all right, some of the executive orders, and this is Carly's conversation, some of the executive orders Biden is going to do right away. Number 1, he's going to repeal the stupid Climate Change Act, which we know there is no climate change. Okay, how stupid can you get? Okay, and number 2, he's going to put transgenders back in the military. Number 3, he's going to rejoin the WHO. Okay, and that's really off to a great start, but we know justice will be served, and it will be because God is still on the throne, and not to mention all the abortions, and afterwards, when you're allowed to finish the job, you know what I mean, even when it's full term. And we also cannot forget about the Obamacare that's bringing back higher taxes. And the other thing I wanted to say was, in January at the inauguration timing, they, that is when this climate change, summit is going to be, together. All right. Which is, it's going to be a complete global reset. Okay. To prevent from being into the dark winter. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to make another video, because I still got a lot more to go through. Okay.